Nå, vil du så have Turano-koppen eller Turano-koppen? Turano-koppen, yes. Men der kommer til at være et stort sted, hvor der er et hul. Så der skal jeg så have lavet nogle. Fordi dem kunne jeg ikke genbruge, de var så ødelagt. Så jeg prøver at lave nogle nye potteskår, nogle gamle tagsten. Why are you always sitting there? Maybe I shouldn't assemble the pot because you like that spot so much. You feel safe in the little pot? That's it? If this pot doesn't have character now, I don't know what character is. It's been a fun little project, I really like it. I'm very excited to figure out which tree I want to put in it. And as always, not so pretty, but I think it's very cool that I managed to save this old pot. We'll see if it holds the soil and the tree, but I think it will. These glues these days are very strong. And I bought a bit more expensive one. Sometimes you can be lucky that they work better. And I put 2 pieces of wire on to strengthen it further. I think the rusty wire goes well with the rustic broken pot here. So yeah, because all the other pots we inherited with the house is made of plastic, so it's nice to save a terracotta one, the clay one here. This is my grow a new hammer shaft project. It's it's grown stuck now. It's pretty funny. It's getting there, but I wanted to grow over the hammerhead, out over the hammerhead, the bark, and hopefully also the tree and under the bark, because it will shrink when it dries. So I wanted to be real stuck before I cut it off and try to turn it into a hammer again. But it's pretty cool. I think it's actually gonna work. It's fun to actually grow the handle. The spade handle here is going to take a lot longer, I think, a couple more years than a hammer handle. Maybe the hammer handle will be ready next autumn, I don't know, maybe. But this one's definitely going to take some years. There's a lot to fill out here before it will be stable. Same principle, I wanted to grow over the place where it's attached here before I cut it. Should be interesting as well. I'm almost done weeding between the onions and the carrots. It was all overgrown, you could almost not see what was there. I hope it shows in the time lapse. But my logic is, of course, then the weeds won't steal all the energy from the onions, and they'll grow better the last couple of growing months here before winter comes, and we can have better vegetables later. Tiring work, but I just like the thought of growing our own food and getting the most out of all the work I did previously this year. So why not do the weeding one last time, so they get better chances of getting better and bigger. That's the logic, but I think I'll stop for now. The light is slipping away and I want to be able to see what I'm doing. The compost pile really smells bad these days because of all the beans I loaded onto it, but I guess that's just what beans do. But during this week when it's been laying on the compost pile, it's actually, some of the beans have started sprouting. And a lot of old guys in the area has told me that beans is a good winter vegetable to farm, so I think I'll do that. As you can see here, the sprouts are everywhere, all the different kinds of beans, so it's pretty cool. Tasty. I guess it would be pretty easy just to pick them up and then plant them again, and then I can reuse the tomato holder. So it'll be pretty easy, and hopefully we can have some beans during the winter. I apologize for interrupting the time-lapse video. I don't feel like I did too much this week, but I hope you enjoyed the time-lapse week. I got the idea after my first day of work, so everything is not time-lapse, but there's a lot of time-lapse. I just thought it'd be fun to mix it up. I did some weeding in the vegetable garden, which I've been postponing for a while. I even gave up on it, but some of the onions and the carrots actually looks pretty good, and I think we still have pretty hot weather and sunshine some days, so I think they can grow a bit more and help be our food through the winter. So that's why I did it. And yeah, tiring work, it's hard to make interesting, and I thought, why not make a time lapse? And I did a lot of bonsai. I don't feel like I've ever been so much up to date with all my trees, so that was nice. They are ready for winter. It's a good time to prune them. They still have all the saps flowing inside them, so they can delegate and heal the scars. So it's a good time to prune them, and it's a good time to put wire on because they don't grow so fast. It doesn't put marks in the bark, so that's also nice. And I did my old terracotta pot, which was a fun project. It's just a different kind of puzzle, and where I had to make my own piece. But we all know that when you're missing a piece, so you have to make it yourself to finish. But then I can go around, spend the winter thinking about what I want to put in it, so that's going to be nice. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I'll see you guys next week.